It's been a while since I've done a rant, so I just kind of felt one coming on this week. I've just spent the last hour and a half canceling flights, moving flights. Um, I spent the last 48 hours worrying about flights. I just turned on my computer and my subscription to the Atlantic announced the demise of American aviation. As many of you know who saw my Instagram, I don't think I put it up here. I was involved in, maybe it was up here, but that flight disaster could only be called disaster, I guess, when your flight catches fire and you have to go down the slide. And you spend, 12 hours sitting in an airport waiting for them to find your stuff. Anyway, yeah. And now we're faced with this complete, total breakdown of the aviation system where people are waiting in line. I mean, the pictures are so horrifying. Some people say they get through, some people say they don't. Some people are missing flights. People are, this is spring break, and people are just really upset. And, is there anything Donald Trump touches that doesn't turn to shit, as Rick Wilson says? I mean, nothing. He's now trying to get all of our eyes off of the complete botch job in Iran, and so we don't go back to looking at Epstein by destroying our travel. These people's lives. I mean, two pilots died at LaGuardia Airport last night just because there's not enough people watching. They don't have enough people to take care of these planes, to tell the truck not to go, to tell the plane to come in. They don't probably didn't have anyone in LA when if my plane flew in from Beijing to properly do any maintenance on the plane. I knew that. I knew that a plane from Beijing coming into LAX needed more than an hour to go over it. It's it's sad. I mean, we had a trip planned. I mean, no one's gonna cry for us, but maybe they are. We've had shitty 5 years, but yeah, it's okay. It's all right. But we had a trip planned. Glenn and I were going down to Colombia to Cartagena for a week. And the last time we had a trip planned to Cartagena was the day we were supposed to leave, the day that we all were told to get locked in our apartments for our homes for COVID. So we canceled that trip, obviously. And I've always wanted to see Cartagena. I don't know why. This is one of those places I want to see. And so we were supposed to go down next week. And actually, no, next week I'm going to see my grandchild, and I'm doing that come hell or high water. I've just transferred my flight from JetBlue, which seemed to be the most screwed up of all the airlines, to from a 9 o'clock flight, which seems to be the worst time to leave on an airlines. So I canceled that flight to go out of Newark at noon, which seems to be the best time to go. And Newark, which has always been the shittiest airport, now seems to be the best airport. What the? Anyway, so the Cartagena flight, well, no one thought we should, like some people thought we should go to Cartagena. And then, well, it got a little dicey when Trump started saying he was going to go after the president of Colombia in the same way that he went after Maduro. And I didn't really want to get stuck in Colombia if there was some sort of, takeover and Americans, I don't know what would happen to us. Why are we having to think this way? I mean, what happened to just like, let's go to spring break, or let's just like get on an airplane, or let's just like go to the market and not have it cost $4,000 for dinner? I mean, it's like the aviation thing is crazy. I've never really worried about flying. I've flown since I was a tiny kid. All over the world, little planes. But I don't like little planes. Actually, no, I don't fly little planes. I don't fly private. But I don't like me. I don't fly. I don't like to fly private. I don't want to fly private. I want a boarding pass. But did are the idea of going to the airport and there's ICE agents there. This is what really got to me last night. And I just like I sat up in bed. I was just like yelling about this one. I was just like, I'm not going. I mean, not that I'm afraid of an ICE agent, but ICE agents shoot anyone they want, and I have a big mouth. I can just say. Imagine me saying, "You stupid big dumb fuck," why don't you go back to Oklahoma? I mean, I can just see me saying that to an ICE agent getting shot in the head. I really would. I try not to do things like that. I've never done anything like that, but I've never been faced with anything like this. I'd probably say, "Why'd you shoot the blonde girl in Minnesota?" I would probably not. I am a little bit smarter, but the impulse is there. The impulse is really there. So I don't know. So we're not going anywhere. Spring break. That's fine. I don't need to. I've seen the world. I mean, thank God I've seen the world. I'm very lucky. I'm very blessed. I've seen almost everywhere I wanted to see. I did. Maybe I'll get to Cartagena. Maybe I won't. I will go get to California to see my grandson because I'm changed my flights around so I could do that, and I can't not do that. But if I didn't have little grandson in California, I wouldn't be getting on an airplane right now. And then this morning, this is the final, so this doesn't bore everyone to death. I went to my UPS station down the street. I had to pay mail something. And Glenn said before bed, if you don't want to take luggage, we can send some stuff for you from the office. Because apparently luggage is a big deterrent, and because it keeps you slow. And I always have way too much luggage. I'm that person with 3 bags. If you don't want to see me, and there were all these bags sitting at the UPS store. And I said to Irma, who runs the UPS store, I said, Irma, what does it cost to do that? She said, it's like $1,000. So, I mean, certain people can afford to pay $1,000 to send, per bag to send their entire family's luggage down to wherever they're going. I don't know. I don't know. He's got ICE camped out at the airports, and they look at all your travel documentation and all your ID. Sounds like a police state to me. Okay. Happy spring break, guys. Staycation.